G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today, we had day one of the grand finals for NA East and EU. I commentated NA East on the official broadcast. I'm gonna be talking mostly about that today because man, was it exciting. We started off with the wild card match, and if you guys don't know, the wild card match was basically for the top 8 teams that didn't qualify directly into grand finals from each heat to try and have one match to see who gets the victory out and goes into the grand finals. And this is where the story started today. This team popped off. We had Connor, Gabe, and Pledge. They won the game in a heel off. It was so exciting. But that's not where this team's story ends. And you might be thinking, man, did they go on and pop off? Not exactly. It pretty much turned into the entire community, or a good chunk of it, flaming this team to the point where one of the players was getting death threats. And I want to talk about that today because I want it to be a learning experience for everybody, because it got a bit crazy and it didn't need to be, and it ruined what was a really good day. If you guys liked the video today, please chuck a like on it. Once I've explained the full story, let me know in the comment section down below if you think that this was fair or whether the community overreacted. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. Now let's just jump straight into it. So before I break down today's games and tell you which big teams really underperformed and which new names completely popped off, we have to cover this little bit of drama because honestly, it's something that I want the community to learn from. So if you didn't see today, basically Connor, which was one of the players in this team that qualified for wildcard, made a tweet saying basically, we're not going to be able to play the rest of grand finals. We're not going to play tomorrow because Pledge wants to go to a Halloween party, and basically finished the tweet with like, F you Pledge. And it was pretty brutal. And most of us were like, wow, that's really scummy of Pledge. How could he do that? Just, they qualified out of wildcard. His team really wants to play and now he's leaving for a party. Like, that's crazy. Well, you even had people like FaZe Sway tweeting about it. You had so many big pros on Pledge's tweet where he basically put out a video of like getting really hyped that they made it into wildcard. All the replies, all the comments of people making fun of him, being like, good luck at the Halloween party, and just flaming him. Turns out he ended up starting to get death threats in his DMs. Everything got crazy, and it ended up coming out that it wasn't that Pledge just wanted to go to a party rather than play with his teammates. His parents were making him go, and they even threatened to actually destroy his PC apparently if he didn't go. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is only because I want it to be a learning experience. The community instantly jumped on this, didn't do any second thought, and just started flaming this guy to the point of sending him death threats. And it turned out he had no control over the situation. Unfortunately, like most Fortnite pros, he's a bit younger. He doesn't have the control of this, and his parents were making him go to a party. Connor since deleted his tweet and has made multiple tweets saying, guys, please stop threatening Pledge. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't have control. And I understand why Connor was upset in the moment, so I don't really hold this too much against Connor. It's more against the community. Just try to get the full story before you make a decision or before you make a judgment. When I heard about it, I was like, man, that's a little bit scummy. But I didn't start tweeting about it. I didn't start making fun of the guy. You never know what's really going on in these situations. All right, now let's talk about the gameplay, because man, the gameplay today was ridiculous. There were 6 games today. There's gonna be 6 games tomorrow, and pretty much today did not go anything like anyone would have expected, in the sense that 2 very notable teams that everyone's been talking about for the whole season, Mythic POIs, Uncontested Doom, Uncontested Stark, which one's better? Who's gonna win? Well, turns out neither of them. Because Zayt, Saf, and Stretch had uncontested Dooms, and they didn't perform at all. They're outside top 15. Bugha, Jamper, and Avery had uncontested Stark until the very last game, which they won on spawn anyway, so can't really use that as an excuse. They didn't even break inside the top 5. Both of the biggest teams with the most hype around them. My video yesterday talked about all the drama on Twitter, saying who's dropped stronger, everyone trying to, make Bugha get contested. None of them are doing well anyway. It's basically the teams that are doing really well, out of one of them being a strong POI, but not really. The 2 best teams right now, first and second, are both dropping non-named locations, and they're destroying from them. If you haven't been following NA East, the two teams I'm talking about is Day, Miro, and Reverse, who have been dropping at like the castle area and the kind of mansion on the coastline near Holy Hedges. So not a strong drop whatsoever. And they finished day one on 128 points with an average placement of 4.3 and average elims of 7.3. And that is ridiculous. This team has dropped Dirty Docks, done really well. They've dropped Fortilla, done really well. And now found an entirely new drop spot that not only isn't a mythic, it's not even a named location, and they are popping off. The second team is Exet, Knight, Shark, and AV, who I've talked about a lot on this channel. They were actually my pick to win today, and they were in first place until the very last game, but they're dropping Fortilla Shantytown Logjam area, and that's a bit more loot than what the TNA team has, but at the same time, they're doing so well. The two first place teams, which are the only two teams over 100 points, are both dropping non-named locations, and this makes me so happy because we've spent this whole season talking about mythic POIs, who's gonna alpha up a drop. Bugha should be doing better. Zayt's team's insane out of dooms. In the end, in grand finals after day one, it doesn't even matter. NA East is going crazy right now. I don't want to just make it sound like Zayt's team and Bugha's team's underperforming and everyone else is doing well. You currently have Clix, Illest, and Bizzle in 18th place on 42 points. You have Unknown, Casca, and Smacked on 37 points in 20th place. You had Calc, Macwood, and Zexro in the last game get a pop-off victory that jumped them up massively. Otherwise, they were right down there struggling as well. Mega, Riversan, and Dubs in 15th. It's just, NA East is ridiculous right now. So many big top-tier teams are really underperforming, and if this was a normal 6-game 1-day format, this leaderboard would have been a joke. And some of these teams might be able to come back and do it again tomorrow, but 6 games is a pretty long amount of time. If you now have another 6 games, things have to completely shift for them to do well. So NA East right now is shaping up to be just ridiculously exciting. Let's swing over to EU, because even though I've been following NA East the most, I don't commentate EU. It is impossible not to hear how ridiculous it is right now, as two teams are just so far out in the lead. It's looking like even with 6 games tomorrow, unless something massively changes, they're going to run away with it. So you currently have Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson in first on 131 points. 30 points clear of second place, which is Duck on Top's team. So just ridiculous. But the concern here is are things going to change tomorrow? The answer is most likely. I was actually talking to Tayson today, and he was saying that it looks like they're going to get contested at Stark Industries tomorrow, and that will change things up big, because this team right now has uncontested Stark, and that is why they're running away with the tournament. They also got incredibly lucky. Their first game of the day, they really underperformed. I think they only got like 3 or 4 points, and then it turns out that game was nullified. That game had an issue. There was a team that qualified through the wildcard match that got given access to play in grand finals that shouldn't have, so they had to void the match, and now they're playing 7 games tomorrow. So 7 games, more than half the games being played tomorrow. If Mongrel's team now starts getting contested, it's going to cause massive issues for them, as you do have Benji, Fishy, Leshy, and Savage in third at 75. So even though third place is really far behind first and second, if all of a sudden a big shakeup happens at the top, and then Benji's team still has uncontested dooms, they have a chance to flip it and start running back for it as well, because the second place team, which obviously has Janice on it, is going Sweaty Sands, and Sweaty Sands right now is ridiculously strong. They can very easily overtake Mongrel if they start getting contested, so much so that you even saw Mongrel and Tayson start a little bit of a conspiracy theory today. That's why I DM'd Tayson. I don't know whether it was true. They ended up deleting their tweets, but both Mongrel and Tayson pretty much started a rumor that Sweaty Sands, firstly, that the henchman gives Storm Surge, which everyone freaked out about. No one could believe it, but even more so, which is a little bit suspicious, they tried to convince people that the henchmen at Sweaty Sands tell you where the next zone goes. And they tried to say it's because of the way they look. I don't really know. Either way, they deleted the tweets. Whether it's true or not, what it shows to me is the fact that Mongrel's team is a little bit scared. They don't know whether they're going to be able to hold on to their lead. They don't know whether they're going to be able to run away with it. So they want to make sure that second place team isn't looking too healthy as well, because they already have a 30-point lead. The fact that they're nervous with that means that something is looking like it's going to change tomorrow. All right, that does it for another video, guys. I hope you're liking these recaps. I know I'm not putting in a whole bunch of clips and a bunch of context. I just want to keep you up to date in case you're not following it. Get a little bit excited because FNCS Grand Finals is amazing, but it's when I don't have as much time because I am on the official broadcast so much and I'm watching all of the OCE games on my Twitch channel. So when this is all over though, I'm going to start making some real in-depth big videos. I want to do a bunch of duo guide content, duo drop spots, how to find your best teammate, duo VOD reviews. I want to bring the guide content back because with duos coming around for DreamHack and Duo Arena, we finally have some new content for me to make some guides on. So if you guys want those, please let me know in the comment section down below. Again, if you got this far and you haven't already, please chuck a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.